They thought they could humiliate her. In front of the entire base, they stripped away the uniform she had worn with pride. But when the general saw the tattoo on her back, his face went pale, and the crowd's silence turned into something no one expected. She stood in the middle of the hangar, the harsh white lights casting shadows across the polished floor. Dozens of eyes watched, some filled with judgment, others with silent unease. The air was thick with tension as the order was given, an order meant to strip her of her dignity. Her jacket was pulled away first, then her shirt, exposing the curve of her back. Gasps rippled through the room, but not because of shame, because of the ink. Bold, black lines formed a design unlike any other, an emblem few had the right to wear. The general froze. His eyes locked on the tattoo, his breath catching as recognition hit him like a blow. That mark wasn't just a symbol, it was history. It was sacrifice. And it belonged to a unit so elite, most soldiers only whispered its name. She hadn't always been standing in front of hostile eyes. Years earlier, Olivia Ramirez was a rising star in the army, sharp, disciplined, fearless. She had served in the most dangerous corners of the world, leading missions where survival seemed impossible. Her brothers and sisters in arms called her Falcon, for the way she could see through chaos and strike with precision. But war had a way of taking more than it gave. She had buried too many friends. She had stood in the rain beside flag-draped coffins. When her unit was finally disbanded after a mission gone wrong, she carried not only the weight of survival but the guilt of being the one who came home. Her tattoo was her promise, a tribute to the fallen. It carried the names of every soldier who never returned, hidden in the intricate wings of the Falcon's design. Only those who had fought in the shadows knew its meaning. Today, however, she was no longer in a war zone. She was stationed stateside, assigned to a logistics post far from the front lines. And yet, here she was being treated as if she were a disgrace. Rumors had spread, false accusations about insubordination, whispers from those who envied her past and feared her presence. The order to strip her uniform came from a man who had never fought beside her. His voice had been sharp, certain. He wanted to make an example of her. Around them, the hangar was filled with soldiers, most watching in silence, too afraid to speak. Her silence was different. It wasn't fear, it was control. She let them take the uniform, piece by piece, her gaze never leaving the man giving the orders. And then, when the final layer revealed the tattoo, the balance shifted. The general stepped forward slowly. His eyes narrowed, scanning every line of ink, every shadow and curve of the Falcon's wings. He knew exactly what it meant. Years ago, he had commanded a mission that had gone terribly wrong. A mission that unit, the one represented by that tattoo, had saved at the cost of nearly all their lives. You, his voice broke slightly before he steadied it, you were there. Olivia didn't answer. She didn't need to. The silence was heavier than words. He turned to the officer who had ordered the humiliation. Stop. Now. His tone carried the weight of a man who had just realized he'd crossed a line that could never be justified. The hangar shifted. Soldiers who had stood stiff and silent now took a step forward. One by one they straightened, their eyes meeting Olivia's with respect. No words were spoken, but the change was undeniable. You don't strip honor, the general said finally, his voice firm. You don't strip sacrifice. And you never strip the uniform of someone who has given more than you can imagine. Olivia's eyes met his for a brief second before she turned, retrieving her jacket without haste. Her dignity had never left her, it had only been made more visible. In the days that followed, the story spread quietly through the base. No official apology was issued, but none was needed. The act of public respect, the way soldiers now stepped aside when she passed, was louder than any statement. Some battles are won with force. Others are won with silence. And hers was the kind no one would forget. Reflection for viewers. Some battles are fought without weapons, in rooms where respect is the only victory worth winning. Some heroes never raise their voice, yet change everything. Where are you watching from? Share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Still Tale for more stories of silent courage.